Hey everybody, this is D Mike, and today I want to show you some of the prep work I'm doing for Chapter 2 of Hoard of the Dragon Queen. So I'm in Steam right now. I'll be using Tabletop Simulator for my digital maps. If you are a player in my game, this is something you want to completely avoid because it's going to be spoilers up the yin-yang, just about everything in Chapter 2, or at least two major areas in Chapter 2. So just skip this, watch it in like 2 weeks from now. But anyway, let's get into this. I'm going to go ahead and fire up Tabletop Simulator and show you well, that's new. Okay, let's just see what happens. Figures. Figures when you want to go actually record something, it's something else that never happens. Oh, I love technology. Okay, so in Tabletop Simulator, you can make your tables, you can make maps, you can do 3D elements. This particular maps are pretty 3D heavy. They don't have any 2D elements to them. So here we are. Let me go. Here's Chapter 2, the Rearguard map, and then I'm going to start actually with, I think it's called the Stragglers. There we go, the Straggler map. We'll load this up. So this is how I built this. And I'm going to take off, there's a mask on this particular, a mask on this particular board. Let's take this off so we can all kind of see what's going on here. There we go. All right, get rid of this. Okay, so here are my tokens of my players, and as you can see, I have completely given this the 3D treatment. Mostly, of course, it's just woodland areas and these rocks that I downloaded off the workshop and just kind of enlarged all of them and stacked them on top of each other. Now, so this is what it looks like. You can get an aerial shot, and also what I really like is getting down into the character's view. So I have some cameras set up so we can look at certain things from certain perspectives. Here is like through the trees. I'm sure somebody will sneak through the trees. And if you could see out there in the distance, there actually is like this smoke that's built up, and that is a visual effect that you can download as well, and that just kind of shows the campfire that is kind of cooking. Oops, I probably just messed that up. I think that's all the cameras that I have. Let's see. Yeah, so I have from the character perspective, and then from the tree lines. Ooh, and there's, I guess, go through a rock. But anyway, if you look in the book, it talks about this particular scenario, and it says pretty much like the characters or the enemy is on a huge plain. At least that's what it sounds like. I had a little trouble understanding exactly how this enemy was, placed in this area, but it talks about how they were in an open greens field area, and I'll put a picture of the book up, and that they were kind of nestled up against the rocks on an overhang. This is not necessarily a complete overhang, but it's close enough. And, they're fighting over spoils and stuff. So here's some nice Thanksgiving turkeys there on the table. You got a campfire there. And, of course, the characters can see the cultists, right? I think there's actually only 4 cultists that are watching, that are arguing, that they can see. But the other group is way over here. And this group 2 is actually all the kobolds, which I believe there are 8. So far, they do not see them. And that's why I'll have the map kind of masked. But they'll be putting up a little fight here, and then of course that kobold group will go way over there. And what I do with Tabletop Simulator is I have these little bags, and inside these little bags are, you know what? I think it's because of this thing here. Here we go. There you go. 8 kobolds, right? So every bag has the enemies in it for that particular level. So I can go in here, I can hit search, and I can pull out all the ones that I want, or simply put them back in. And let's see, let's escape out of that. And I think this one actually is the skybox, which is the masking tool. Another thing you can get off the workshop. I highly recommend it if you can find it, which it's very, very easy to find. But yeah, this is the Stragglers Map. And this is one of the first encounters in Chapter 2. And then we'll see how it goes. I know, like I said, it's in a Greens Plain, right? But I just didn't want to do that. Of course, I'm a DM, I'm going to change things up, and I really wanted them to have the abilities to, come through here, sneak through the forest. Maybe they work their way through, boop, boop, go through. Maybe they split up and have people on the other side of the path. And I don't know how this looks on video, but hopefully this is the frame rate's maintaining. And then, I don't know, do what they're going to do best, probably, which is kill everybody here. So this is the Stragglers Map. And matter of fact, if you look at the base, if you take, all the models, this actually is a 2D map someone created online, free. I mean, it's just one of those things where, again, Hoard of the Dragon Queen was wildly lacking enough maps, and so people have kind of created some stuff. And I could have just stuck to 2D, but again, I really wanted to push some of the 3D elements. Not too much. I mean, the 2D maps are still great, and that overhead perspective still works really well. But really wanted to kind of embellish this a little bit. So this is this map. Now let's go, let's load up the other one, which is the Rearguard. Now this one is a little bit different. At least I approached it a little bit different. Let me take off the token here, which actually masks the entire map. Let's take it off. Okay, there you go. Now this one, again, is a map you can find online. Just type in Hoard of the Dragon Queen maps, and you'll find the free ones. I encourage you to pick up the ones that you can purchase through, I think, Blando and Mike Lachey, I believe. But I think Blando did, I may be saying these names wrong, but did the majority for Hoard of the Dragon Queen. But this is, as you can see, this one's I pulled back. Less is more, right? So this is one of those 2D maps I found, and the only thing I did here, because this is where the rear guard is, this is where they actually can be ambushed, the characters. I just really kept the 2D elements and just put a few of the rocks in for cover. You know, and actually these bushes too, these little blades of grass were all on the workshop. All these are just kind of the same rock. It just turned a little bit, different sides, and placed randomly on the map. And of course you got your characters down here. And I made sure to put at least something down here. What if the thief wants to hide in the bush? What if they want to get behind the rock? They have abilities to do that. Maybe even hide down here. And I don't know, I threw in a tree just because. Here comes a couple logs and whatnot. And again, over here I have these little pouches, and in here's all the rear guard stuff, which I think I need to have there we go. 7 rear guard, right? So I can go in here, and here they all are. The cultists, the mercenary, which is a new token I just put together last week. But anyway, so this is the Rearguard map. I think you could play this without 3D elements. I think the map itself works fine. But this is, I think this fits the description of Chapter 2, the Rearguard description, fairly well. So I don't think there's much of a problem with this particular map. And then the last, well, there's kind of, I guess, you know, Chapter 2 is a little bit bigger than that. But here is the last one, which doesn't have much on it right now. But again, I have masked the entire map. Now this is the Raiders camp. Again, it's a map that's just freaking huge. And what I did with this, so let's take off the mask, just so you can see it. I bought this off Blando, I think. Am I saying that right? Blando, yeah. So this is the map here, and what I did was, it fits really nice on the desktop, or I guess this table. But what I did was make the grid really small and really tight. Now, for some reason, I have 2 giant tokens here. I don't know what they're doing on the board. Let me see something, actually. Are they both there? Yes. I don't know what in the world is going on here. Right now, they're locked down. So let me go ahead and just delete. There we go. But anyway, I kind of shrunk the grid size. And so, and of course, when you do that, you have to shrink your tokens as well. And now it kind of scales a little bit better. And then you can see I have group 1, group 2, group 4, group 3, and those groups will have certain amounts of enemies on them. And then of course, when I do that, I will have bags out here that have, you know, a combination of all those different enemies. But this is a kind of a map where I don't think I need to do too much of that, because when the players get to here, and if they screw up, there is no fighting. I mean, maybe they'll fight to the death, but they are going to be overwhelmed. So I don't feel really the need to work too hard on this particular map and try to put out 100 different enemies. So right now I just have like these large groups that are wandering around. And of course you can see I put some campfires in just to give it, I don't know, some flavor. But I think this map is pretty much done. I probably put some mist and smoke in here, but this map works okay. So I think that is it. The next maps are the Dragon Hatchery, which I've just kind of started working on as well, and I use that original map, but we'll talk about that later. But anyways, that's it, guys. These are the maps for Chapter 2. This is how I've set them up. This may not be the perfect way to do it, but it's working for me right now. Again, go out and purchase those maps, throw them in a Tabletop Simulator, and I think you'll find they work really well, especially if you just want to use the 2D elements, or if you want to just go full on 3D. Just keep in mind that if you're going to go 3D, it's going to take time to download that stuff in the workshop and then also put it together, because it can be a little finicky sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes. All right, guys, that's all I got today. Just the next campaign diary will be up, I think, a week from now when we start session 4. Okay, guys, that's it. Thanks, and I will see you in the next video.